Welcome to the Modern Psychedelics podcast. Thank you so much for being here and choosing to spend some time with me today. I'm your host, Lana. This is the place where we explore how modern humans can work with psychedelics and plant medicine to engage more deeply with life. You can expect balanced and grounded conversations around therapeutic, spiritual, and recreational containers. All right, let's journey. Hello, everyone from beautiful, beautiful Costa Rica. I wanted to just give you guys a really quick note before we get into today's episode, which is all about psychedelic integration. As I said, I'm recording this from Costa Rica, and I am here for 6 weeks doing some medicine work, working on the podcast, interviewing people, and I'm actually heading back to Iboga Wellness Center in a few days to help out with some retreats. I'm really looking forward to that. And before we get into that, I just want to let you guys know that I will be taking a break from the podcast for the month of June, and there's a few reasons for that. So it's very much a sacred pause. I love the sacred pause. So the main reason is that we're really starting to up-level the production here at Modern Psychedelics. I'm working with the FWI team, Kevin, who you would have heard in the recreational and fun psychedelics episode a few months ago. I'm working with him and his team to up-level the video production, the audio production, all of that for you guys as the show is growing. And with that, of course, comes increased costs, of course, and which is a great thing. It means that the show is doing well. It means that the show is growing. It's providing value, and I'm really ready to take this to the next level. So with that, like I said, it comes increased costs. So up until recently, the show has been ad-free. For 2 years, I have been, paying out of pocket and doing this all ad-free. And the reality is that if I want to continue the show, providing value to you guys for free, I would like to start onboarding very slowly, very consciously aligned sponsors and partners to work with. So you can definitely expect some, sponsors and ad spots to be included in the show. If you feel like supporting the show, if you want to support the show, supporting the sponsors and the partners goes a really long way. So I just want to give you guys a catch up on that. We're also just going to be consciously, slowly onboarding sponsors and partners. And I'm also taking this time, I have about 4 more weeks here, just to really vision and feel into yet the next iteration of the show, of the podcast, the energy that I want to bring. And I'm definitely feeling a rebrand coming on. The tone is changing a lot. I am changing a lot. So yeah, that's very exciting. If you guys have been following along on Instagram, you'll know that I just went and visited a beautiful, very special place called Reunion here in Costa Rica. So they are doing ayahuasca and psilocybin mushroom retreats. I cannot wait to share about this experience with you guys. It was I'm not gonna lie, I went in with so many doubts. And I went in pretty guarded, but it was if I had to rate the experience out of 10, it was 15 out of 10. It blew my mind. Beautiful space holding, facilitators that are just so deeply devoted to the medicine path. And yeah, I'm going to be sharing in June. There'll be a couple of episodes about my experience there. I sat with a direct Shipibo lineage, 3 maestras of the Shipibo lineage. It was honestly comparable to my Iboga experience. It was so powerful to work with maestras who hold 1,000 years of wisdom with them, and they sang their Icaros to us, and it was just so powerful. I can't wait to share. I have been sharing a little bit on Instagram, so you can go and see. I have an IG story highlight called Reunion. You can see just how stunning and special and sacred the place is. I have so much to share about this, but if you've been following along and you want to book an experience with Reunion, I have a code for you guys. It's Modern Reunion, MODERNREUNION. So if you want to book this experience for yourself, using this code is actually going to go a really long way. It's going to make sure that $100 from your booking gets put into a scholarship fund so that we can send someone from the community who is in financial need to the experience. So make sure you use that code if you book with them. I have nothing but incredible things to say about this experience, and I can't wait to share more with you guys. So I'll leave it there. Subscribe on Apple and Spotify. Please rate and review the show. If you do rating and review, send me a screenshot of your review, like your typed out review, to hello@modernpsychedelics.net, and I will email you a copy of the Modern Psychedelics Integration Journal for free as a thank you. So make sure you do that. And then you can also sign up for my mailing list to keep in touch. I only email about once a week or once every 2 weeks, and I tend to be really intimate. So I'll leave a link in the show notes there for that. And I can't wait to see you guys on the other side in July. So let's get into today's episode. What is integration? Other than being a massive topic in the space, integration is simply the homework that we do after a powerful psychedelic experience. And unless we do that homework, chances are this is going to be just another experience that we just went through and it didn't really mean anything to us and it didn't really make any desired changes in our lives. We definitely want to make sure that we are educated about and prioritizing integration. Whether you are experiencing psychedelics in a clinical, ceremonial, or recreational container, integration is required if you really want to make the most out of the experience. Integration is deeply personal. There's no guidebook. There's no right or wrong way to do it. But there are a few things that we can keep in mind to really make the most out of these powerful experiences. In today's episode, I'm going to be sharing 5 things that you might not know about integration. These are nuances that I've picked up during my work with medicine in ceremony and also from partaking in recreational containers. I'm going to be providing you with some coaching prompts to really help you deepen your integration process. So the first thing that you might not know about psychedelic integration is that, dun, 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 there's no destination. There's no endpoint. Integration is a journey. And the more that you do this work, it's more than a journey. Integration actually becomes a lifestyle, a way of living, a way of being, a way of existing. And that is a way of mastery and growth. You realize that there will always be more opportunities for learning and growth. There's always going to be another layer of the onion to peel. There's always going to be a deeper insight. There's always going to be a way that you can take action that aligns more with your integration insights. The lessons continue to come through, and the insights teach at new depths, at new levels as the process continues. It is so juicy to watch it all unfold, especially if you start doing this work over a longer period of time, really working with medicine in life. So I want to give you guys an example of this. During my Iboga experience, which if you guys haven't heard about yet, I highly recommend you check out episodes 45 and 49 because, wow, that was my most powerful psychedelic experience to date. But one of the biggest insights I got from this beautiful medicine is that nature has all of the answers and that you are nature. There is no separation between me and nature. I came from nature. I came from the earth. And because I am a being of the earth, anything that I want to know, I can look to nature for. It is the provider of all of our resources. It is the provider of all of the answers. And this is something that I think a lot of people in working with psychedelics come to know in different ways. So the integration of that, right? What is the endpoint in that? How do I know that I've fully integrated that insight? I can't. It's not going to be like I bought my property in the jungle and now I have like fully integrated this insight that nature has all the answers and I am nature. No, there's always going to be a deeper way. It's going to be a lifelong journey for me to continue integrating this beautiful, special connection with the earth It's going to inform, it already is informing the food that I eat, the clothing that I wear. I'm like sewing my own clothes now from organic materials, where I want to live, how I want to live, how I want to spend my days, the way that I exercise. There's always going to be deeper layers of integration that is going to unfold throughout the rest of my life. But I know that this insight that I received, this wisdom that I received from Iboga is massive and huge and something that I will get to chew on for the rest of my life. And for me, that's really exciting. I love the journey. I've reached a point in my process where I'm all about the journey. I always say the juice is in the journey. I'm not a results-oriented, outcome-oriented person, and I definitely have plant medicine and coaching to thank for getting me to that point. But seeing integration as this unfolding process, this unfolding journey, it makes life so just juicy. So if you're listening and you're like, okay, cool, but I'm not there yet. I have a coaching prompt for you to work through that might help you start seeing integration as this journey instead of a destination. And let me tell you, it really takes the pressure off of the work, it takes pressure off of your life when you start seeing things in this way. To really embrace the journey, what I would recommend is taking yourself out of your life and becoming the observer that is watching it all unfold. So this looks like part of you is here, is experiencing what is happening to you, but you also have that higher level of conscious awareness that is also just like keeping an eye on everything that is going on and is just like watching it all unfold. This bird's eye perspective helps us see that there is a greater picture, a greater unfolding that is happening before us as we integrate these insights. And it's really beautiful. Something to practice to really do this is to embrace curiosity over judgment, to practice allowing rather than forcing. And the first step to removing judgments, because it's really hard to be the observer, right? That bird's eye view observer if we're in judgment of what is happening to us, right? Being the observer really takes removing those judgments. And the first way to remove those judgments is to be aware of them. So something like a judgment journal is great. This can be as simple as keeping note on your phone and just noting down every time that you have a judgment about someone or something. With integration, judgments can sound like it's not happening fast enough. That's the biggest one. It's not happening the way I want it to. Any attachments to way that thing should look. Anytime we're using the word should or have to, that means that there's some sort of judgment present. So just be really conscious of any judgments around your integration process, how the journey is unfolding for you, and take note of that. The next step is to start taking note of how your judgment might actually be blocking the process from unfolding in front of you, from blocking you from just enjoying the journey and treating it as exactly that, a journey, not a destination. So when we really hold on too tightly to our judgments, what we think is best, the way that we think things should go, we block ourselves from seeing the opportunity that is present for us. And when we see integration and life itself as a journey, there's so much opportunity available for us. So let's move on to number 2. Meaning making matters. The only meaning your experience has is the one that you give it. Like I said in the beginning, this is a deeply personal path. There is no teacher other than the plant if you're working with plants. There is no teaching other than your own internal wisdom combined with the wisdom of the plant, right? You are the one who activates the wisdom of the plant when you consume that plant. So be very careful that the meaning that you are creating from your experiences is coming from you and not from others. You're the only one who gets to decide what your experiences mean for you. So a masterful shaman or a masterful guide may guide you So in certain cosmologies, like with ayahuasca, visions do mean specific things, right? Seeing a jaguar in a vision has a very specific meaning in the ayahuasca cosmology. And a shaman might be able to give you insights on what your visions mean within the context of ayahuasca. However, it is up to you to determine what that means for you and how it applies to you. I'm quickly interrupting this episode that I hope you are enjoying to let you know that I'm currently onboarding new one-on-one clients in my coaching practice. I'm a 3-time certified and well-trained core energy coach working with those who are on the psychedelic path or psychedelic curious. If you're looking for a coach that's process-oriented, that would be me. In this outcome-obsessed world, it can be very alluring to live life from that place of wanting to be at the destination or the end result. But I have learned time and time again that the juice is in the journey. Thank you, Psychedelics, for teaching me that. That's why I aim to equip my clients with tools and skills for the long game of life, for the long game of medicine work. The key pillars of my coaching practice include awareness, acceptance, peace, conscious choice, trusting the process, energetic engagement, and enjoyment. And I don't just coach from these disciplines, I live and breathe them myself. If this sounds supportive for where you're at, get in touch with me by clicking the link in the show notes or head to modernpsychedelics.net/coaching. I can't wait to connect with you. That's modernpsychedelics.net/coaching. All right, back to the episode. Episode 54 with Adam Aronovich is a great place to start diving into how meaning making can get a little dangerous when we start applying very specific lenses to our meaning making. So sometimes the lens of the retreat center or of facilitators and guides can start impacting our meaning making. And that's something that we definitely want to be very careful of as we take that meaning into our integration process. A coaching prompt for you here is to focus and be aware of the difference between truth, universal truth, the facts of what happened, and what I call lowercase t true. So capital T truth it's universal truth. It's the facts of what actually happened. Lowercase t true is something that is true for us, but is not necessarily universally true. So the meaning that you create is true for you. It's not universal truth, but it is true to you. It is your personal truth. It's the meaning that we create from the facts. I encourage you to create meaning, to create truths that move you forward, that align with the life that you want to create. If someone is inserting a meaning on your experience that does not feel right in your body, you do not have to take that on. So be very wary of coaches, facilitators, guides, and even shamans that tell you that there is only one meaning and who do not encourage you to dive into what this experience means for you because it is your experience. So the third thing that you may not know about integration is that it's not just about taking action. It's also about allowing the insights to deepen. And as the insights deepen, the actions that follow those insights deepen as well. I want to give a visual here. You know those like Russian dolls? Those like that like Russian doll set where you like open one and there's another one and there's another one and there's another one and there's another one. I want you to think of the insights that come through during the integration process as the Russian dolls, but I want you to think of it as this like you just never run out of the Russian dolls. There's always another doll that you can open. There's always another way that you can look at this. There's always a way that you can continue to deepen that insights. That example I gave, nature has all the answers and you are nature. Like that is a Russian doll that I'm going to continue like opening and finding meaning around for the rest of my life, right? There's always a level deeper that I can go with that. And because with each level that you go down, you're meeting the new insight from that new level. So who you are
when you receive the even deeper insights is constantly going to change. And that's the thing that allows you to receive the deeper and deeper insights. On the topic of insights deepening, as insights deepen within you and become a part of who you are, as they become your new internal truths, your new perspectives, the places from which you now operate within, the actions are going to naturally follow. This is why, as a coach, I work with core energy. I work on creating transformation from within with my clients. And we want to do the same thing when we approach psychedelics. We really want to integrate those insights deeply within us and examine our core beliefs and the way that we operate within the world from an energetic level, from the level of our perspective, from the level of how we're actually viewing and experiencing the world. And when those insights become so deeply integrated within us, the action is just going to naturally follow. It's going to be effortless. It's going to be easy. And it's going to be like, duh, of course that's what I should do. And an example I can give you from my personal integration process with this is, so for years, I have been like scheming to leave Toronto. I have been daydreaming about moving to a tropical country or the Mediterranean or Europe. I just wanted to get the heck out of here as soon as possible. After my Iboga experience, I realized how important family was to me. And I had such a reckoning with the mortality of my parents being in their 60s. And I had such a reckoning with the fact that they're not going to be here forever. And all of a sudden, family became so much more important to me than it ever was. Healing the relationship with my family became so much more important than it. So spending time with them became important to me as well. And how that played out is that it was like, yeah, duh, no, I don't actually want to live anywhere else. I actually really want to be close to my family. That's what's important to me. So that inner shift of my values took place. And as a result, I was so easily able to release this desire, which honestly was probably coming from wanting to escape. And when I stopped wanting to escape myself, I stopped wanting to escape life, whatever. And yeah, as a result, I'm just so happy, so content to be firmly rooted and grounded in Toronto, close to my family, spending time with them. I know that's what's important to me now, and I'm at such peace with it. It's so often, I see this so much with my coaching clients, and I definitely used to have this tendency, but we just want to get to the end of the road. We want to get to the destination. We want to start seeing the results. We want to like spring into action as soon as we get that insight. This is when we see someone has an ayahuasca ceremony and they like go home and break up with their partner and move across the country and all this stuff. And whoa, just breathe, just sit with it, just let it sit, let it unfold. The insight might, as you continue to open that Russian doll, there might be deeper and deeper layers of insights there, right? What's beneath that desire? Dig into it. All that to say, insights are layered and layered, and there's no end to how deeply you can develop an insight. So really give yourself the space for those insights to deepen and to connect to your life, and then the actions will become clear and effortless. And that's going to lead me to my next point here. The fourth thing about psychedelic integration that you might not know is that integration requires a lot of time and space. One of the most important questions to ask yourself before a significantly large dose of anything is, do I have the time and space to let this sit? All this new information and energy that you receive is going to require breathing room. It's going to require love and care and nurturing from you. It's like inviting these new insights and awarenesses about yourself. It's almost like nurturing a newborn baby, right? It needs to be taken care of and tended to. You can't just let it into your home and then not pay any attention to it. That's definitely not what we want to do here. So make sure you're asking yourself, do I have the space to tend to my integration process? A coaching prompt for you here is to really take inventory of your life on all levels and just make note of what's distracting you from creating space. I get it. We all have really full lives. We all have a lot to do, especially parents. Shout out to parents. I know how much you're doing. I don't think I could possibly know until I'm actually a parent. But all that to say, we all have a lot going on, and choosing to embark on the psychedelic path and to start inviting these newborn babies into our lives. It is like having another miracle child to take care of. Do you have the space for that? And then in taking inventory of what in your life is distracting you from creating space, you want to look at your schedule, your relationships, your habits. This episode is produced in collaboration with Film with Integrity. They are a values-forward production studio, and their tagline is quality content crafted with care. And from my experience working with their team, that is certainly true. You can just tell that everything they put out into the world has that human touch from the heart. They truly have that something special that you won't find in most production houses, which is exactly why their work stands out from the crowd. I'm sitting in their video podcast studio as we record this, and that's one of the services they offer. This includes end-to-end production from concept to content. Film with Integrity also does event video, documentary series, commercial and marketing videos, all filmed with integrity, of course. Their home base is here in Toronto, and they work with many American and international clients on productions around the world. If you are working on a project that deserves that quality of production and content without sacrificing heart and soul, visit filmwithintegrity.com to check out their beautiful work and to get in touch with their beautiful team. That's filmwithintegrity.com, and I've linked that for you in the show notes. Are you maybe saying yes to every calendar invite that comes your way? Are you saying yes to every client that comes your way or work opportunity that comes your way? What's beneath that? Are you checking your phone first thing in the morning or last thing at night? And what's beneath that? Really think about how you can create space for yourself, because trying to think of a good metaphor. It's like when you know that you're about to give birth to a baby, right? What is the thing that all moms go through? And I'm pretty sure this is like a hormonal biological thing, but they go through this nesting period, right? They're preparing the home. They're getting all the supplies needed to really take care of this baby. They're also taking the junk out, right? They're clearing the space. They're clearing the energy to invite this newborn child into their home. Treat your psychedelic experiences exactly like this and clear the space, clear the garbage in your life, in your space, in your calendar, and give these new insights in your life room to breathe. So for me, this is where I really love cannabis. So my life is so full. And with the assistance of this plant medicine, it's one that really encourages me to create space in the mind. So for me, I have been practicing like spatial minimalism for like almost a decade. So with my space and things like that, my digital space, I have a lot of space. For me, it's more creating mental space, and cannabis really helps me create mental space, unplug from work, unwind, just chill out, take a step back. And when I do that, the medicine allows my mind to enter the space where I'm really just wandering. And because my mind is wandering, there is space to think of new perspectives and take in new perspectives and insights in a way that I normally can't. I'm not saying that you should use cannabis. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying find what works for you to create space in your life and in your mind so that you can really honor this integration process. And the last thing that you might not know about integration is something that I learned very recently, and it is that sometimes integration can happen within a psychedelic experience, within a ceremony. This is a really interesting one because the deeper your relationship with these plant allies gets, ceremony and integration kind of start to become one. Like I said, integration becomes a lifestyle, ceremony also becomes a lifestyle, and you take those pieces, those aspects of ceremony into your life, and you take those aspects of integration into ceremony. And yeah, this one's a little hard to explain unless you've experienced it, but I guess the best way I can explain it is with an example. The first time that I experienced this happening was with my 3-year anniversary with ayahuasca, which I talk about in episode 44. And I had a very beautiful experience during the ceremony where essentially 3 years of medicine work all just whoosh, just came together through this visualization that I had. And the person that I was in that visualization in the ayahuasca experience was a version of myself that had fully integrated 3 years of medicine work. Like everything that I learned was encapsulated in the energy that I showed up in that vision. And that was really beautiful because the message there was like, this is who you are now. This is who you are now. This is your life now. Like, you already are this person. So acknowledge that you are this person, acknowledge that you are this version of yourself, and go be it. Go be it. It was like having to give myself really permission to like fully step into this version that had done a lot of deep work with Mama Aya for 3 years. So I hope that example shows you how integration can take place within the experience. So there you have it, 5 things that you may not have known about integration. I hope that you enjoyed learning about these things. Definitely send me a message on Instagram or an email about any ways that this information has helped you. I absolutely love to hear from you guys. And if you are feeling inspired to work with me as your coach, if you are on the psychedelic path and you would like to take this journey with me, definitely get in touch. I'll leave the application for coaching in the show notes. And I wish you all very fruitful integrating. Talk to you in the next episode. Thank you so much for listening to and supporting the show. To stay in touch, sign up for my mailing list, which can be found in the show notes or on modernpsychedelics.net. If this episode sparked something within, please let me know by leaving a review of the Modern Psychedelics podcast on Apple and Spotify. This really helps to share these messages with those who need them, which is the whole reason why I do what I do. And if you haven't already, come join the ongoing conversation over on Instagram with other beautiful souls. We have an incredible and conscious community over at the handle Modern Psychedelics. And don't forget that the work begins after you come back down to earth. And I'm standing shoulder to shoulder, doing it with you.